Welcome back, NRL Fantasy Hookers. An interesting position, a lot of good cheapies available, but we're going to talk through everyone here. Biz, mate, what's your general strategy with this spot?
Honestly, I love going expensive on hooker, but this year I'm not loving the top options. I think I'm going to just take 3 or 4 of these cheaper options and hope one of the 2 of them hit.
All right, well, let's start rolling through, man. Damien Cook, first option here, and it's a terrifying proposition. Jacob Little was absolutely on fire last year. I look at this and I don't want to borrow it.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side. I don't mind this. I think I did love Jacob Little last year. And in fact, we were kind of hoping for a player swap with Gutho maybe and getting Little over at Para. We do need a hooker. But I think, look, they've already talked about getting Little and Cook on the field at once. Now, Cook has been shown once he gets the minutes, he'll get the points. Now, he's older, but he has shown he can still play big minutes. If he plays 50 minutes at hooker and 30 at lock, then I love that proposition. He'll still be tackling. He'll maybe run the ball more, get some more ball playing style kind of points. But I don't know. Maybe they won't give him 80. Maybe they'll try and, make sure he's fresh for the end of the season and kind of play him 60 minutes. In that case, at this price, I don't want to borrow it. But they've bought him. They've gone and chased him, just like Gutho. They've co-captained him. Surely they want him on the field. Again, I'll be watching preseason and Charity Shield pretty closely. If I see kind of 30 minutes in, they've brought Little on and they've kept Cook on the field and he's playing big minutes, I could be tempted.
Mate, that's a big call. That's a big call. For me, Harry Grant's more interesting. We've seen Harry Grant pump out massive averages in previous years. So he's been that 60-plus guy. 53 last year, very disappointing. I basically didn't own Harry Grant last year. I don't think I had him the whole year. And I thought I was really smart with Reece Robson the first few weeks. But then he just cooled off as well. The whole position sort of cooled off, except for Damien Cook, who was scoring tries at center and doing whatever he needed to do.
Yeah, he was a score. We kept saying, don't buy Cook because he couldn't keep it up, and he kept it up.
He's kept going, yeah. Harry Grant, I look at him, and I think just generally he's due a bounce back. But you throw in the addition of a Stefano Atokomanu in the middle, who's a prop who can score a try.
Yeah.
Right? And I just think Harry Grant's going to absolutely feed him the ball. I think we're going to see more of Harry Grant. I think the fact that Cam Munster and Pappenhausen will be more fit this year as well. It's crazy to say the Storm will be better this year.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
I mean, they probably will be better.
Yeah. Look, I think Harry even came out and said last year, like some of the players around him were playing so well. All he had to do was get them the ball. He didn't have to do too much, which is true. Like the way Hughes and some of the others were playing, just get him early ball, get it out to Katoa, etc., and they'll do the scoring. I think what I did like about Harry Grant though is he's ended the year pretty well. Like his last few scores and his scores going into the final series were much higher.
Mid-60s,
mid-60s, and he's scoring tries again. So clearly taking more responsibility. And I think we've seen that when he plays 80 minutes, he's a 60-point guy. So this is a down year. I think most likely he's going to be the number 1 hooker to end the year. I don't really see anyone else challenging him unless Cook gets that hybrid like hooker lock roll. But I think Grant, if you're going to pay up for a hooker, the safest one is Grant by far, because I think worst case he's giving you 55, best case closer to 65.
What I'd say with Grant too is, on the one side, you don't want to buy him before Origin. You kind of want to either start with him or you don't get him.
Yeah.
But on the other side of things, they had the rule change, right? So there's no benches for the minor buy rounds now.
Yeah.
So you've got the major buy rounds, right? Those Origin rounds. I'm explaining to the camera what you.
You trying to tell me something here? I don't know how to play.
Mate. So 13 players only for the major buy rounds, those Origin weeks, which you guys are used to. The big change now is the week after, where there's that minor buy round. It's also only 13 players. So one strategic implication of that is that you could potentially run more Origin players in your squad. So a guy like Harry Grant might be a guy you carry because he usually backs up pretty well from Origin. So you can usually rely on him. But if he doesn't back up, that's okay. You only need to start 13 players. You can use them in a loophole, whatever it is there too. So I'm a bit keener on Origin players as a result of that rule change, and it increases Harry Grant's rankings for me.
Yeah, I also think he's generally, as bad as I like to say this, he's pretty good against Parramatta. He does like scoring against us. So he could be a captaincy option week 1 and get you off to a flyer.
That would be brave, wouldn't it? Jacob Little. Just can't do it, right?
No, bench player. It needs 80 minutes to be worth this price.
He gets 80. That's great. Max Plath's really interesting. I find this one hard to buy into because the attacking plays were so prominent last year.
Attacking players are prominent. Dolphins get a better forward pack. Gilbert comes back, who kind of also plays in the middle position, might take some minutes. Played a lot of hooker last year. Probably won't play as much hooker this year with Jeremy Marshall-King back and fit. I can see it. But I think there's too many variables for me to put 700k up when there's so much value at that price this year in other positions. Like I can see him being one of the best hookers this year because the work rate was there, the kind of system and the club loving him. Like that was all good to see. Obviously a new coach, but look, I think he's a 55, 60-minute guy again and probably low 50s yet again.
Yep, I'm with you there. Too much risk. Reed Money comes in, and he had periods last year where he was unstoppable. He finished the year a bit weaker, had a few injuries, nickels, that sort of thing. So he comes in, priced at 50. The ceiling isn't there for me to be interested in this one. I like Reed quite a bit in a draft league. I'm definitely interested in Reed, but for a classic team, he won't average above 55 this year, right? So you're limiting your value there.
Yeah, I just think he doesn't play the same. Like when he was a para averaging 60, it was a lot of crash balls to, Paolo and those guys and get a lot of try assists. I don't think he plays that kind of role. At the Dogs, he still racks up 60 tackles a game, misses quite a few, but he missed them at Parramatta. But the attacking upside isn't there to get him up to 60. I'd say the same thing about the next guy in Reece Robson. I think he's shown that over the last couple of years, he's kind of fallen back more to a low 50s guy. I think he can improve on 49 for sure, but I think it's going to be more 52, 53. I actually think if the Cowboys take a seat or go backwards a bit, it's not the end of the world for him because more tackles, because he does love making tackles. So again, Robson, not enough upside for me. I think I'll pass on him.
If their attack struggles, I think it helps.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been playing the attacking footy he used to play because he used to rack up close to double-digit tries a lot of years, and he's dropped that back to sort of 2 or 3 tries a year now. If he has to take on more responsibility in attack, it's just more run meters, more tackle breaks, more tries, right? So if it depends on the style of play, but if he's good in the trials, I'm going to pay attention to that.
Do you think they reduce his minutes as he's leaving, or still going to be 80 minutes? They breed the next hooker or no?
They'll keep running him. I don't think unless someone pops up in the trials.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go for that. Coruscant.
Interesting one.
Yeah, look, he's at an okay price point. Coruscant is usually one of those guys who sort of fluctuates through the year, and I'm only really interested in the lows where we can buy him a bit cheaper. So for me, not a go for round one.
He's not that expensive right now. Like a 44.4 average. I think. Look,
he averaged 50 plus. Though.
Yeah, he's done it before, but that was like kind of the Panthers. Like we talked about who averages 50 at the Panthers. Pretty much everybody. Look, I think he's just a bit too inconsistent. I think there's games where he just misses too many tackles or too many errors, and then they kind of limit his. I think to average 55 plus, you got to be pretty consistent. The attacking stats are there. The goal kicking potentially again. Low ownership, which I don't mind, like 7.5%. I think this is a year you could be interested in him because other than Harry Grant, there's not great options, but a kind of middling price and so many other Tigers potentially in your squad.
Yeah.
Do you want that much exposure to a team that's won like 3 spoons in a row? Probably not.
Yep. Yeah, he's not in my team. Marshall King, I guess if we're talking about Plath positively, it's probably not a year for Marshall King, is it?
No, I think he needs the 80-minute role. I think we're both pretty high on the Dolphins, so we can see it happening. I mean, like he's shown that he can average in the high 40s, but he's had enough time now to make the leap to 50 plus, and he just hasn't not taken a gamble at 590k. I think there's better options.
I'm with you there. Brayley is one that I'm getting sent a lot of questions about, and to me, I think it's pretty straightforward. He's a tackle machine with amazing service at a dummy half, and not a lot of attacking upside as a hooker. I don't see it really developing. I don't see him being that Harry Grant-esque hooker, right? So he's great for Cronulla because they just need that early ball out and they've got all the ball runners on the edge. But for fantasy, Blake Brayley, not for me.
No, I can't see much upside on this price.
I'll keep rolling. Chris Randall won't get the minutes this year. Hop past that. Wade Egan is an interesting one. There are periods of time where he is a 55 average and the Warriors are going to need him to do more.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of early injuries in games. So it's very risky. I would say there's a 20% chance if you buy Egan, you look like a genius.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 60% chance it's frustrating, and there's a 20% chance where it's comically terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Egan's an excellent player, but he cops so many of these niggles that like the shoulder stingers, etc. I think they're just trying to conserve him. When he plays 80, he looks great. He scores in a lot of categories. He's a good attacking player. He tackles the ball player a lot. So a lot of categories he scores in, but they won't give him 80 minutes a game. I think they'll try and preserve him a bit.
Agree with you completely. And Brayley comes in. He was on the bench a bit last year. He started a bit. He's a 50 guy when he starts, priced at 38, which is actually pretty expensive. That's what I expected. But if Brayley got 80 minutes again, I'd be interested. I don't think he will.
I think there's going to be some weeks he plays 80, some weeks he doesn't. They've got so many of these utility 14, 6, 7 players that I don't love it. I think one of them's definitely going to be playing at 14 and they'll be playing hooker minutes. So I think we can pass on that one.
We passed him. Mitch Kenny, I don't see any development there.
No.
Okay, keep rolling. Verrills, probably not. Aaron Clark, I don't think so. Brandon Smith, he's out for a while. Talk about him later. Smoothie won't win the hooker spot in my mind.
No.
Starling, if he gets a spot, this is pretty straightforward. He's a 50+ average when he plays big minutes. Does he play big minutes?
I don't know, because when he was back in the team playing 80, amazing, and then he lost the spot to Levi.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know what's going on with him.
So that's just a wait and see. But if he gets the minutes, we like him. Croker will probably miss the start of the year.
Yeah, miss 4 rounds potentially. Yeah.
I'll just jump onto Simpkin.
Yeah, Simpkin. Yeah.
371K. 4 rounds is not a lot of time. And Simpkins' PPM wasn't fantastic last year when he got the minutes. Also, they got Chan Kum Tong, who steals some minutes as well.
Simpkin can score pretty well, but he's also got a dud in him, which is completely like when you've got 4 games, you have to have 4 consistent scores to make money. If you have just one dud that kills your break even, it was a waste. So
371.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not base price. So I'll have to really consider how good I think Manly will do and see who's on the bench.
Yeah, I'm hopping off. Lawton, not so interesting off to the Cowboys. Brendan
Hands versus Lussick yet again. Yeah. What a story.
I might just not participate in this year. Do we need to? There's some better cheapies we're about to get to.
Better cheapies, but I feel like if it's Hands week 1 and Lussick is not the 14, you got to do it, surely. At 389. What do you can't. Worst case, you trade him up the second week. I mean, that's
what's the
high.
Average? Like best case scenario is like a 40, right?
40.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to. I'm just not excited.
No, I'm not excited.
We'll see round one.
Kind of chop and change.
Yeah. And then rolling down, there's some actually pretty good options down the bottom here. So Moses one, people are excited about. I personally think the real world talent is better than the fantasy opportunity for a guy like Moser. And I looked at the numbers. Historically, it's a 23 points in 33 minutes proposition. So that PPM is okay. But usually the PPM drops off a bit as you go through minutes. Best case scenario for him is he's sharing time for the first 9 weeks, and then Ben Hunt becomes the dominant hooker, in my mind.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think they've got a lot of, even if he does at the start, like he's young, they're not going to throw him into big minutes straight away. I think they've got like Corey Pakes and, Billy Walters and Tyson Smith.
Would you say 50 is the max minutes?
I think 55 is the max minutes because all those guys can play hooker and they've got experience going. And I don't think Billy Walters will disappear. So, I think 35 average to 40 is the absolute peak. So worth having, I think worth getting in your team for sure if he wins the start. But I probably wouldn't look at him if he was on the bench.
I agree with that. And even if he starts, it could be bad as well because 40 minutes extrapolating is probably a 28 average. Probably need some more attacking stats. Talon De Silva I like a lot, but he won't, beat Coruscant out. Mama Zealous comes in and this one feels pretty straightforward. It feels too easy. Me, I've got this like tingling feelings, in the back of my neck that
no, I get you.
He might lose the spot or something else. Like it just feels too easy.
He just can't. I've seen flashes, but I haven't seen enough where I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's the next big thing.
Yeah.
So look, I think at 45.4% ownership in a lean hooker position at 320K. Yeah.
He's a must-have.
He's a must-have.
I just
it's
have
not,
this
it's not like I'm not like clapping the hands. I'm thinking, yes, baby, keep the cash cow round 1. Let's go. I can see this story being a bit of a hands on last. Hopefully not.
Let's see if Humphreys is on the bench or I'm with you. You have to have him, but it's dicey.
Speaking of having to have Danny Levi,
don't do this again. So last year I didn't start with Danny Levi.
He scored on a try.
I thought I was a genius because every week he's on like 11 points, like 72 minutes in. I'm like, yeah, sweet, this is finally the week. And then try.
Yeah. Or he'll have like a gangbuster attacking game, but I end up on 35.
Yeah.
Up to 6 tries.
He just got there no matter what.
Yeah, it's 35.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and find reasons not to buy him is my answer.
I'm not going to find reasons. I'm not going to have even if he starts. Like I've seen it. Even when he starts, he gets up to like max 400K.
Levi out. Corey Pakes, he could win the starting spot. Might be interesting. 300K is a good price point. We just need to see who starts. Then down the list here, no one else
There's
really
not
there.
Much. There's not
So
much.
for round 1, if things go how you think they're going to go, I mean, are you a no guns? At hooker, are you one of these top guys? Like, where are you sitting?
Got my Mazulis. I'll have Hands if there's no Lussick named. I'll have Moser if he's starting. None of them are like guarantees for round 2, right?
Yeah.
So I think I might need to cop a Harry Grant or a Damien Cook.
Yep.
I don't love it. I don't want to, but I don't reliably trust any of those. Like Mamazulis probably has the longest leash.
Grant, you have the buy.
Well. Oh God, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I was like, if I go Grant, they'll give me at least some safety if the others are knocked out round 2. So I forgot about.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I have to think about it because honestly, like there is a chance. I think Mamazulis definitely gets a few games, but Moser and Hans could be out week 2 if it doesn't go well.
My current roster has no gun hookers.
Yeah,
the same ones you're talking about. I don't have Hands because I don't really like looking at him after last year. But Harry Grant is one I love. I'm always a sucker for they used to do it, they could do it again. Thinking, and I think that about Harry Grant. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be the best hooker in the comp this year. So I'm liking that. But the round 2 buy, and 730K I can use elsewhere, right? Like, so I'm probably thinking to go cheap hookers. Cheap hookers, just thinking back, it's usually pretty bad. Like it's often
bad.
Yeah, it looks good on really paper. Bad. You're like, that guy will get minutes, but it doesn't pan out how you think it's going to pan out. And you have to go and buy a top hooker later. This list is tough. I
don't like Damien Cook only if he gets 80 minutes, and I know he's getting 80 minutes. Is he interesting? None of them are interesting. Maybe Plath.
Robson with a different play style.
No,
I'm a Robson truther. Like not this year, but
probably not. I think Grant's round 2 bye makes this really difficult because there's no way I'm really running Mamo, Moser, and Hands.
I think you
without one.
I think you are. I think you'll do that. I'm going to do that most likely.
I think I will do that most likely. But it's not a smart decision.
It's horrific. Yeah. I mean, well, you can go Harry Grant and just don't have him for round 2, but ownership.
But then you're probably not. You might 12%. Not have. Yeah. I mean,
you're low.
Yeah.
You like Coruscant?
Not enough to buy.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a high on some of the other Tigers. So.
Yeah.
Look, I think Grant probably makes sense with those 3, and then hope one of them's still in the team.
It's dodgy. Guys, can you help us?
Yeah, you got
in the comments.
This is where the so-called experts like this. This hooker this year is tricky. Like
it's early in the year, man.
Early in the year. And maybe there's a great cash cow that comes up that solves all our problems. I don't know. Maybe like Little will get loaned to Parramatta.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? After a month off the bench.
No, I want him to start. I want him to start.
Oh yeah.
I want 80 minutes straight up. Surely if Little comes to Parramatta, they're giving him 80 minutes. They're not finding
Little's at max price though.
I know.
So I'd rather he started the Dragons first 4 weeks. Drop the price down. Come to Parramatta once we've won 4.
Is there really no one else here? Like what
are you thinking there's a hooker we're missing?
Brother.
Well, Jaden Braley used to be a guy. There's a lot of guys that used to be guys who aren't guys now.
Maybe Tom Starling will start for 1 week as well.
Maybe. Yeah. Everyone always like you're probably thinking of Brandon Smith because he usually occupies half the combination.
Yeah.
Conversation every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam Verrills as well. But yeah. Okay. So we're struggling. All right. Let us know what you guys are thinking. And thank you for jumping onto our hooker video. We're doing all positions. We're doing a bunch of other content for fantasy as well. So we'll see you guys on those ones.